I spent $30 on this. Disorder is a dungeon crawler third TPS roguelike with dynamic speed action. That is a combination of words. I recently saw the launch trailer popping off on PlayStation's YouTube channel. I've had an itching to play Stellar Blade, but your boy don't have money like that, so I decided to settle for the next best thing. So why don't we see what this game has to offer?
But did I get some money?
Oh my god. Before we get into the actual review, let's look at how the game initiates you, so to speak. So the game opens up with the main character, we'll call her FemC for the time being until we find out what her real name is. There's a few less important options alongside the giant play button where you get 3 save slots and the option to enable easy mode, which instantly makes you stronger. More so whenever you challenge. Anyways, we start up the game and we're greeted by an introductory cinematic. Let's watch it together, shall we?
11 years ago. I wish I hadn't gone to that department store. I wish I hadn't survived that accident alone. I'm not like this. I didn't live like this. I need to go back to that, where the accident happened. I can be my old self again. After passing this tunnel, it was a department store. Thereupon, I'm going to put it back. No matter how much they block me.
After attempting to turn the volume down and realizing you can't pause the game, you're put through a brief combat tutorial. You're equipped with a normal attack, heavy attack, and a kick. Afterwards, you...
I have to go back to the department store. The whole world became dark. I felt like I was
Oh my god! After whatever the fuck that was, you wake up on
department store rooftops.
and
Why do I have a knife in my hand?
you are introduced to another combat tutorial talking about all the actions you are able to commit. Normal, heavy, and kick once again. You can dash, which is effectively your roll. You can sprint and do an attack while sprinting. Keep that in mind for later. And you can also enter disorder mode, which makes your screen red. After you kill these 2 enemies, you are able to select a way to upgrade FemC. And oh my god, another cutscene!
I must have been unconscious due to the accident.
Eddie Murphy? What the heck? For the sake of continuity, we're gonna say I died to this enemy immediately after because the difficulty spike is vertical or something. I don't fucking know. Upon death, you respawn back on the
Department store rooftops.
for a new run because remember, trailer said this was a roguelike. There, FemC's AI assistant, who just exists, explains you can buy permanent upgrades for future runs.
Wait, so what about money?
Oh yeah, what about that? Oh, no one answered her question. While dungeon crawling, remember? You'll encounter these gates marked by 5th grade arts and crafts projects where you defeat enemies to claim the rewards mentioned earlier. You keep doing this until you are able to take on the boss of the floor. And that's the entire loop for the rest of the game. Get upgrades, kill bosses, go to the next floor, repeat until the game ends. But the game's still kinda doo-doo though. Let's get the biggest eyesore out of the way first. The gift desk. I have a tendency to stray away from roguelites due to the over-reliance on inflated difficulty to force the player to engage with the meta progression systems, rather than allowing them to rely on learned skill. There's only one game that transcends this rule. You've definitely heard of this game. Johnny Upgrade. You start the game with 2 seconds, boom! You're dead, you are terrible. But we have the technology. You can use the coins you collected in that 2 seconds to augment every rule in the fucking game. You can get more time, run faster, jump higher, get a goddamn gun, make the gun stronger, and the boss music is sick as hell. Oh my goddamn god. What does Disorder have? This is Greedo, the second boss on the 2nd floor in the first game. He beat the shit out of me the first time I attempted to defeat him. Listen to my endless screams of despair and agony. Of course, once you die, you can buy more upgrades from the gift shop. But what they don't tell you is you get paid pocket lint and Cheeto dust after every single run, which resulted in boss progression being agonizingly slow. Every boss took about 6 tries before you'd finally beat them. I got to the 6th boss before I realized enough was enough, and you know what I did? I started cheating, baby. Bring me that money! I did come to the conclusion about the best strategy in the game, though. Take a look at this clip. As you just saw, that little bitch got dunked on. Remember that sprint attack I told you about? Let me tell you about this underground indie game called Grand Theft Auto 5. I'm surprised they couldn't even afford 5 entries. In the game, there exists a similar technique. You spam sprint and attack to deliver a devastating haymaker. It did great damage, it staggered the enemy consistently, and had virtually no cooldown. Why is this relevant? Well, that's the problem. It's the only thing that is relevant. What's the point of acquiring more skills if you have the ultra death move from the very beginning? It's like if in Yarimono... Actually, I don't really want to talk about that game. The only skill I actually used consistently was the parry, and that's only because it's a fucking parry. This game just has so much fluff cluttering all of its systems, but none of it is even worth experimenting with. Along with the severe lack of gameplay variety, which boils down to running around, hitting things, and dying, it's just hard to get attached to any of it. The story must be good though, right?
Since you're here, this one's going to be easy.
No, this doesn't make much sense either. Spoilers ahead, if you care, I guess. I've been thinking a lot about how to explain the nuance of this story to you without torturing you with the burden of experiencing it yourself. So I drew up this chart showing the 3 elements of a good story within any video game. Just roll with it. We're gonna talk about each element and how they connect to each other. Let's dive into the cutscenes first, because they are surprisingly the most coherent.
Are you following along well?
What?
I'm following.
What? Basic breakdown. Girl apparently has supernatural powers, some powerful group experiments on her, and now she's trying to get her memories back to take revenge on them. You've heard this story 1 billion times. However, randomly the cutscenes start doing whatever the fuck they want. Greatest example, explain this to me. We finished fighting Billy the Monkey. Yes, Billy the Monkey. Go down an escalator, listen to me well.
Have you guys already found out?
No idea what she's talking about. Is she talking to us? Is she talking to her AI companion? Perhaps schizophrenia? Who are these people? Maybe she was talking to them.
That's actually some pretty solid evidence.
No idea what Budapest is. Wait, is this real? Rabbit? Wait, hold on. Okay, so that's Morocco. Wait. Are you telling me she just walked 26 days? Next, we got the dialogue, and hopefully you know the main problem with it by now. For a game that literally advertised its damn story, this is just...
It's shaking so hard. It's like a bomb went off somewhere.
Just wow. This is the scene of the main character realizing her true nature and lashing out at her captors.
Everyone, get out of the way.
Cinema. The dialogue feels like it's getting superimposed over the gameplay. The only time the dialogue felt like it served an actual purpose was before this boss fight.
I'm not alone. Right. We each have our own color.
And finally, the gameplay. I want to ask if you've noticed something about the enemies we've been fighting this far. Take your time. Oh, okay. Yeah, they make no fucking sense. For 90% of the game, you're fighting sludge monsters, aliens, robots, and the one that boggles my mind the most, mummies? This is the only part in the entire game you fight mummies. In the elevator, mummies. Why are there mummies? The fuck is this? Did this game get written? Or did it just happen spontaneously? The answers to all these questions?
I don't know.
And thus, my graph lies in tatters on the ground, never to hold a logical form ever again. So yeah, nothing in this game is too great. Honestly, I feel like a 3D roguelike dungeon crawler could work, but unfortunately the execution here is pretty lackluster. You know what game isn't lackluster though? Aw, hell yeah!